Welcome back to the Advice Show. Today we're talking about how to connect communities through social media and websites. Our guest today is Wendy Green, founder of ILoveBramhall.com. Don't forget, you can get in touch with the show by tweeting us at That's Manchester using the hashtag MCRAdvice or text advice to 07548 200 007. So Wendy, where were we? So why Bramhall? I mean, obviously you live there. Is that why you're so passionate about it? And
yeah, I mean, I was born and bred in Bramhall, and actually then moved away and lived sort of down on the south coast for quite a few years, and moved back to Bramhall, and can just completely fall in love with it, and thought it's actually a really nice place to live. There's a lot going on. It's got some great bars and restaurants. I believe it's generally one place where it's actually got something for everybody, whether or not you've got a small family, whether you've got teenage kids, or whether you're older, or or younger people. I just think it's got everything there for you. So completely fell in love with it and thought, I love Bramhall. Let's do a website. Before I forget, Alex, I've got you a little prezi.
a present for me?
Little mug.
Oh, I love Bramhall. I love it. Oh yeah, thank you very much for that. I'll be having a brew out of that.
So you'll never forget me now.
I will never forget you now. Thank you very much, Wendy. So yeah, so all these different communities, I mean, it's just a great way of getting them all together. Like you said before, from little babies to the elderly, that's, I suppose, normally they wouldn't ever get together. And, with the launch of your company, you've managed to achieve the impossible.
Yes, I think so. That's what I'm trying to do, and I think it's quite nice because I've started to get to know so many people now in Bramhall. I am sort of like walking yellow pages in a way, and people will ring me and say, "Do you know so and so? Or do you know of anybody that can do it?"
Oh, let's just find Wendy.
Everybody, and in fact, in the last couple of weeks, I've had an email from somebody in South Africa who's coming to Bramhall. And they just wanted to know sort of information as to where to stay and where they could go, etc. And I actually had an email from a lady in Texas that's coming over next year, and she said she's got ancestors in Bramhall or that area. So she was asking me my advice as to when to visit Bramhall, when's the best time, when the thing's going on, and I've actually suggested that sort of May, June are quite good times because we've got the annual duck races in May, and we've got Bramhall Festival in June. So
annual duck race, I love it.
Yeah, we have the duck race.
So you've gone international, baby. I mean, that's fantastic. So I Love Bramhall is reaching far and wide.
They found me somehow,
Yeah.
So
you're doing something right.
I'm doing something right, definitely. So
you've got another side to your business, which is the networking events.
Yes.
Because after all, that's what you're good at, bringing people together. And so what's that called? Tell me a bit about that.
I set up, they're actually called Moxie Mingles. They're just business networking events. I set up Moxie about just over 3 years ago now. And what I tended to find is that you know, especially having a small business or being self-employed, you actually don't meet many people, and you do need to not necessarily meet somebody to actually get business, but you actually need to meet people just to sort of throw advice at each other and just to have a chat with people. And things like, do you do social media? Does Twitter work for you? How does it work for you? That sort of thing. And where's the best printer? How much do you pay for your leaflets to be printed? You just sort of
to bounce ideas.
Yeah, and it's quite lonely being self-employed because you do sit. I mean, I work from home, so I sit at home, me and the dog, and I work. So actually, it's quite nice to go out and network and actually meet other people. So I'd done quite a lot of networking myself and been to various events, and I suddenly thought, I think I'll just set up my own events, so that kind of worked for me. So I set up Moxie about 3 years ago, and they're generally very relaxed networking events, and I generally have them in the evenings where people can finish work and have a glass of wine, a few nibbles. I sort of choose different venues, generally sort of South Manchester area. So sometimes it's quite nice because people think, oh, I've never been to that bar before. I'll go just have a sort of nosy at the bar. And I just bring people together, and off the back of that, people do start building relationships, and then people start referring people. And it's not necessarily that you go to a networking event and you're actually going to do business with that person that you've met, but you don't know who that person is and who they know and who they can recommend you to. And that's the ripple effect, really. Is you meet one person and who else do they know? And I think over the sort of months, if you sort of network sort of regularly, you start building up those relationships. People begin to like you, they begin to trust you, and that's when you know, business can come your way, and it, you know, and it for Moxie people, you know, it's, you know, it does really work.
Well, I suppose that's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, people want to employ people, don't they? It's you know, it's all about whether you like people or not.
Exactly.
And you know, I think you've made the networking events sound a lot more exciting, because whenever you say, you know, a networking event, you just think of the stuffy suits and yeah. But I mean, it's really relaxed. You have fun. You have drinks and
so, I've had morning ones where, you know, I'll have like a tiler or a plumber turn up, and he's all in his work gear, all ready to go off for a day's work. He'll network with us. Generally, they start about 7:30 in the morning, have breakfast, and then off he'll go on his job. And he can be, you know, he doesn't need to be suited and booted. It's not one of those, you know, for me, it's like bringing everyone together. And it's quite interesting how you don't know where those connections, you know, where they could come from and how they could work for you, you know. So it's just a nice way. It's just a nice way of meeting people, like I say, thrashing out ideas with each other, bouncing ideas off each other, and then also ultimately, you know, potentially you could get some business as well.
Some work, yeah. So what kind of success stories have you had?
Well, it's hard because I don't actually sort of follow up on, you know, when people come, who meets who and how much business they get. But I do remember an IFA, which is a financial advisor, he came to one of my events about a year ago, and he'd picked up one of his biggest clients ever off the back of Moxie, and that wasn't somebody that he met somebody through Moxie who knew somebody else that needed somebody. And
again, the ripple effect.
Exactly,
yes.
And I think he'd been in business 30 odd years, and he got one of his biggest clients, and basically directly off the back of Moxie.
That's fantastic.
So it does work, and like I say, it's very, very relaxed, very chilled. Everyone has a name badge, because I'm hopeless at remembering people's names, so everyone does get a name badge. But it's and they're nice. They're just, you know, nice, relaxed. You know, and there's been some really good friendships made from it. It's not just very strict business. And, you know, one lady that comes to all my events, I mean, she just says now they're just lovely events because she's made some really good friends, genuinely, you know, so.
Oh, that's fantastic. You've inspired me to want to go to a networking
yeah,
event
you
now.
should, they're good.
So, do you charge for these events? Or?
I do. I just, and it's a nominal fee. So evening events, because it involves alcohol, glass of wine. So for a glass of wine, nibbles.
You've sold me.
Yeah,
I'm
you
there.
see that. That's all it is. You just need a glass of wine, you're
Yeah.
happy. So £15 for an evening event, and normally £10 for a morning event. So it's not a huge amount of money. I don't operate any membership, so come and go as you please.
So there's no membership fee?
No membership, and there's no lockout.
And if you go to one, you're not committed to have to go to them all?
No, just come and go as you please. Because again, I appreciate that people are self-employed, that they have got busy lives, and maybe they can't commit to something that happens every week or every 2 weeks, so they just come and go as they please. I do no lockout either, which, so if there's a solicitor there, it doesn't mean that I don't allow any other solicitor in the...
Right, so I was going to say a lockout. So that's a term, is it? That's
yes.
a social networking term. That
Well,
you have one.
Well, a lot of networking events, they do have a lockout. So if there's one person doing a certain job, then they won't allow anyone else in. But I've always been under the impression that actually you do business with people that you like. So there could be maybe 3 solicitors there. Just because they're solicitor doesn't mean you're necessarily going to give them the business, but it might be that you actually engage with one better than the other, and that's the person you would maybe use yourself, or you would recommend to your mum to do a will, or whatever it's going to be. So I think that's where...
That's just it. I mean, it's healthy to have a bit of competition there as
well.
And
it's about buying into those people. And I've always said that I think that people do business with people that they actually like, and it's not a question of maybe getting a couple of quotes and go, well, I'll go with them because they're the cheapest, which are probably businessmen are probably looking at me thinking she's crazy. But actually, I would prefer to do business with people that I know and I like and I trust, and I know they're going to do me a good job, and that's how I operate, and that's how a lot of people in Moxie, you know, appreciate that now. And it is just about building up relationships and getting to know people.
Fantastic. So what have you got coming up? Both for Moxie and I Love Bramhall. Anything exciting?
I've always got something coming up. I've got an event next Thursday, actually, at Moxie. An event.
And where will that be?
It's actually at a business called Ease the Feet, Ease the Spine, and it's actually a business in Cheeley-Hulme that's recently opened, and they just want to get people through the door. So it's actually a free event. Now, I don't normally put on free events, but this one is free.
So ease the feet and free the spine. So what's it about?
It's a business that basically opened recently, and and they do specialist sort of furniture, they do back scanning equipment, foot scanning equipment. They've got some really high-tech stuff in there, but people still don't know about them. We just need to get people through the door. So he's come to me and said, look, could you do an event? So that's really booked up already, actually. I'm quite surprised how many people are coming. So that should be really good. And again, there's drinks and nibbles, so it's not, you know, and it will be a good networking opportunity, but very good for people that maybe are in HR or architects, interior designers, physios, anybody in healthcare, anybody basically that.
And of course, I Love Bramhall has got Bramhall's Got Talent, has it not?
We've got Bramhall's Got Talent, which will be on the 3rd of October. Yes.
The day after my birthday.
Is it?
Fantastic.
Remember that.
Oh no, well, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you today. Thank you so much. You've given us a massive insight into, you know, how to build communities together. So thank you very, very much for that, and for the networking advice too.
Thank you, Alice.
So I'm afraid that that's all we've got time for today. We have had such great fun learning about how to connect communities through social media, and with my free cup as well. Thank you very much. It's the first present I've got.
Oh.
And about how to connect communities through social media and networking. So thank you very much to Wendy Green from ILoveBramhall.com for her help with today's show. And thank you to you at home for watching us. Join us again tomorrow at 12:30 for the Advice Show. See you then.